1-0. Colorado, first blood. Coffey dumping it into the corner. He's around the net for a point. Kucherov has him well covered. Red Wings have 3 in deep. And they can't come up with it. Coffey will stop it. No, he won't. He missed it at the blue line. So they have to scamper back onside. And a penalty is going to be called. And it's going to be Lemieux again, I think. The Red Wing player near the bench was dropped.
Hit him right from behind and jammed him right into the boards. Not sure who it is, but it upset the Red Wing bench and the Red Wing players. Bowman wants them to get away now from anything to do with Lemieux because Lemieux's got the penalty. Chris Draper is the victim, and it was a rotten shot right from behind. He got hit.
It's a 5-minute penalty to Claude Lemieux. That's a heavy duty.
It is well deserved. Draper's cut and hurt, and Lemieux 5 and a game, and he's gone. And you can't do that and get away with it in the middle of the season, let alone.
Back in the studio. Third back into the zone by Severin. They got the sticks up, the gloves up. They're looking. The stick goes flying. The glove goes flying. Severin wanted to go at it. Pusher wasn't sure. Now he is.
You know what? Probably a pretty good tactical decision by Brent Severin here. Under the circumstances, again, the tension. You should have seen the newspapers here in Detroit today. Obviously, everything's focused towards Claude Lemieux. Brent Severin wanted this situation. You could see that he was looking at Pusher, and he pushed him into this situation. The first glove that flew off was Brent Severin's, and I think that maybe he wanted to dispel some of this, take it to Detroit, rather than wait for it to come to them. Probably a good idea.
He is the leading penalty man for Colorado. Severin with 173 penalty minutes this season. Jamie Pusher's got 109 for the Detroit Red Wings.
Close. No cigar. Boy.
Maltby stuck his nose in towards Rennie Corbet.
Now this came about because of a couple of big hits by Maltby. Biggest guy on the ice is Uwe Krupp. 6'6", 230 pounds plus. He is a giant. And Corbet, who got cranked up by Aaron Ward back in Denver. Look out, here we go. Maltby drops him. And away they go. But the linesmen are right on top of that one early, so it'll be a short one. Short fight and a long rest. Draper's getting whistled over by Dvorsky as well. Why, I don't know. He's just strongly throwing his arm at the box and at Draper like, you get over there right now.
This pass intercepted in the zone. Lemieux stepped up, could not get to it. And on the far side, we've got a tie-up, and it's going to be Peter Forsberg and
Igor Larionov. And Larionov took a couple of real good cuffs at Forsberg. Oh, there's another scrap. There's McCarty. Is that Lemieux? Oh, yeah.
Here come the goaltenders, and here we go. This is what had to happen.
And there's nobody there. There's nobody there to help out Claude Lemieux. Patrick Waugh came flying out of the goal.
Patrick Waugh's dropped all his equipment and is taking on Mike Vernon.
And as Patrick was looking the other way, Vernon was helping out in another scrap. That's why Waugh's into an out. Ho, ho!
We could have both goaltenders thrown out of this game. Not for this, but they both came out of their crease and charged each other at center.
Absolutely. And Claude Lemieux has gone to the penalty to his own locker room right now, too, and is shaken up. And look at those goaltenders go at it.
I have never seen two goaltenders literally, I mean, they were flying. They were off the ice when they collided.
I saw Patrick Waugh come flying out first. I didn't notice Vernon. Vernon got a couple of licks in on Patrick Waugh, but Waugh saw that Claude Lemieux was down and McCarty was over him. Everybody else was taken for. And that's what brought Patrick Waugh out of the net. So we're going to see two new goaltenders here, absolutely.
Well, Dvorsky will have an interesting call here because there was already one fight going on. And look at Patrick Waugh. It's got to be so scary for these two teams, this situation, to have key players like this in such a situation where injuries could happen. So close to the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. It started with Forsberg and Larionov, two of the most unlikely people, particularly Larionov. Then McCarty went right for Claude Lemieux. It was like a signal. I'm not saying it was intentional, but it just happened that way. And McCarty didn't hesitate. He went right after Claude Lemieux. There's Peter Forsberg, one of the initial combatants, and then all hell broke loose.
Darren McCarty called Claude Lemieux gutless in one of the Detroit papers today. The captain, Steve Yzerman of Detroit, said, until we get this finished, until somebody goes after Lemieux, this incident of he and Draper from last year is not going to be over. Well, this is what we expected to happen, and it has.
Absolutely. Detroit was brewing for this. And as you said, Gary, they said outright that they wanted to square this situation. I guess that's the best way to put it. And I didn't get a good chance to see because there was so much going on. Claude Lemieux ended up sitting down on the ice in front of the Detroit bench. And McCarty was over him, and if you look now, there's a bunch of blood on the ice and on the sign, right on the boards in front of the Detroit bench. That's where Claude Lemieux was. When Lemieux got up, he went right to the locker room.
What a great discussion we're looking at right now. That is Chris Draper, the man Claude Lemieux hit, who is talking to the Colorado coach, Mark Crawford. Crawford went right down to that end of the bench, and now the linesman has moved in to separate Crawford from Draper. There they are. That is Chris Draper, who was closest. Now Scotty Bowman's come down to that end to talk to Crawford.
Well, you know he's not happy because his big guys were out there. There's where Claude Lemieux ended up. Darren McCarty was over top of him. Now, they said I didn't get a chance to see once they broke it up because Vernon and Waugh were going at it like crazy in the middle of the ice, and there were other scraps, but Lemieux got up and went right to the players' bench and right into the dressing room. So, obviously, he was cut in that fracas with Darren McCarty. And that shot of Patrick Waugh, there was one solid punch thrown by Mike Vernon, and I have no doubt that that's what did the damage in that scrap.
Well, it took game 4, the final regular season meeting of these two teams, for this finally to get taken care of. And that's what it is. You're right, Brian. I mean, it's the equalizer, the balance, the necessary battle that had to be fought. Somebody on Detroit had to go against Claude Lemieux. McCarty was the obvious one in this lineup tonight, and so he did.
I think that players have to take it into their own hands in a situation like this. I'm not condoning it, but it's happened. I mean, I played in the league. It doesn't matter what era. I don't care if it's the 40s and 50s, the 70s and 80s, or now in the mid-90s. But this is a contact game, and when things happen that get teams and benches riled up, which is obviously what happened to Detroit last year in the playoffs, the center of the controversy, Draper and Lemieux, and then what happened during the early games with Detroit putting some pretty big hits on Colorado players in the first couple of games of this season, it still wasn't settled. This is settling it. We'll see if everything calms down. I suspect it will a certain amount.
And I think it will. McCarty's been thrown out of the game.
Here's the initial confrontation. Forsberg didn't let it go, but look, he doesn't. Oh, he does give him a shot. But watch Larionov, a little roundhouse, and then another one. This is all away from the play, folks. And he gets him in the bear hug. This is what sets it off. Now, McCarty takes a look and says, that's okay. This is Lemieux and McCarty. And Darren McCarty knows how to rumble. As Shanny cuts off Patrick Waugh. Patrick Waugh was in full flight. Pretty observant of Brendan Shanahan there. Here comes Vernon, and then everybody squared off.
Boy, Colorado, you saw how hard Patrick Waugh hit the ice. That was a flying tackle.
Absolutely. Brendan Shanahan saw him. There's no doubt. That prevented an awful lot right there. Because if Waugh goes full speed into that pile, somebody could have been hurt. Obviously, he saw Lemieux in the situation he was in, and he didn't care. He was going to get in there. Very observant. Then, look at Waugh's looking to the right. And look at it. It's 2-on-1 there against Adam Foote. Now, to the right side of the screen, there's McCarty against Lemieux. That's what I was talking about. He gets it crushed into the boards. That's what that was about. And that's why we saw the blood on the ice. Then Roy turned around. He had been watching Lemieux and McCarty. That's the punch that cut Patrick Roy. A left-hander by Mike Fernan.
And there you see Mark Crawford, who had been down there talking to Chris Draper before this. Then Scotty comes over, and you see they're very much under control here. They both knew that this was almost inevitable tonight, that it had to take place, that Detroit had to do something. Their players had to stand up for Chris Draper. That's the way their players felt, and they hadn't let go of the issue, and they were saying it publicly. So they both knew it was going to happen. It has.
Now the Red Wings with a different challenge, and that is to kill off some power plays. Now it's going to be Adam Deadmarsh and Konstantinov. You've got the monitor down in front of you, Mick.
I can see this one. Deadmarsh, we talked about him at the top of the show. He's a tough kid, big goal scorer, and he's been after Konstantinov, as many of the Colorado players have, as he likes to give it. So this looks like it may be a long, long night for everybody involved, but most of all, I'm sure the fans having fun. Let's just hope nobody gets seriously hurt. Little fight, 2 stitches, never hurt anybody. It's a long way from the heart. Jason Hillman just came in. We're next door, as I said, Mike, to the Colorado locker room. And got on the note here, Forsberg and Lemieux getting stitches in the locker room right next to us here. So, as I said, another day's work at the office for a hockey player.
So in 37 seconds, Colorado will have a power play. It will be their 3rd of the night. Right off the start, Shanahan and Adam Foote. Here we go again. That took exactly 4 seconds. Foote tries to get a right uppercut in. Shanahan has him tied up well. Now Shanahan with a couple of rights. Trying to connect from over top. 2 strong guys going at it here. Somebody's bloodied up. I don't know who it is. You can see the blood in the back on the ice. Looks like it's Adam Foote. And the referees step in. Right off the opening face-off here in the 2nd period. Foote Ozlov will earn the assist.
Here goes Keane. Who's that? And Holmstrom. This will be interesting. We haven't seen Holmstrom in a fight this year. He likes to play it physical. Keane's a crusty veteran. And Vernon's overlooking this thing if Keane goes to battling on him. Oh, he does. Vernon's got the gloves off, and the referee's holding him back. Now Ward, he's got loose. Who's he with? Can't see the number. That shirt's going to come off quickly, and Ward better get his off.
That might be Severin.
Very quickly. Now Severin's got no jersey. Ward can't grab it. He's got to take a whack at that kid and back him off. Now he's got a good hold on him. And that sweater's off, boy. It's tough. You better have a good fist, because there's nothing to grab. And those guys aren't done yet.
Holmstrom and his combatant Mike Keane are both bloodied up.
Look out. Severin's got the left hand loose.
Well, if he takes a shot in front of Dvorsky, he's going to be done for the night. Paul Dvorsky, I can read lips. He said, don't.
Severin's frustrated. Can't blame him, really. I guess once you get in the mood, let's go. So, the goals are coming a little more freely. The fights continue. What a Donnybrook we've got.
It's hit by Deadmarsh, and now Murphy gets it. Deadmarsh.
Hang on.
He's going to go with Darren McCarty.
Deadmarsh with a couple of rights in, and now McCarty's got the left loose. They're trying to go with him. He wants that one haymaker. And Deadmarsh trying to get back for what McCarty did to Lemieux. He throws him fast. That's his 2nd fight of the night. And the bell continues to ring. House, Sam Goody and Odgers today. Now more activity with the extracurriculars here, as they just will not go away. And big Uwe Krupp, number 4, and Pusher, number 4, they're going to go. center ice, and Pusher just continues to go after the veteran big guys. He's got the left hand loose, and here comes Krupp, drilling him back. Oh, man. Krupp is one of the biggest guys in the NHL. And Pusher standing toe-to-toe with him at center ice. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Lapointe away from the fight, talking to Corbet. Got a hold on him, and Pusher and Krupp are separated. They have a pretty good goal. Everybody else seems to be calmed down.
Game. Steve Yzerman moving in towards center to take the face-off. Claude Lemieux will be out there in this first line for the Avalanche. It'll be Yzerman working with Darren McCarty and Kozlov on the wings with him. There they are already talking. Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown, drag out. And there they go, right on the whistle.
Oh, baby.
They were talking to one another, and immediately at the drop of the puck decided to go at it and get this over with.
And guess what? Claude Lemieux is not turtling on this one. Remember, it was Darren McCarty that whooped up on Lemieux last season, and Lemieux just took it, and he stayed down in the turtle. Well, baby, he's not taking it now. This is a heck of a goal right here.
This is a statement by Claude Lemieux to the Detroit Red Wings and Darren McCarty. He obviously was embarrassed that he turtled in that fight when they went against one another, and had made up his mind tonight he would put an end to the turtle.
And Gary, you know what it sends a message to as well? We just had a shot of the Colorado bench. There were a number of players that really weren't happy with Claude Lemieux not getting up and trying to duke it out with McCarty last year, and the players were up cheering him on right off the bat. I mean, we know Darren McCarty's a tough guy. That wasn't the question. The question was, will Colorado answer the bell? And more specifically, will Lemieux answer the bell?
This is what Claude Lemieux is retaliating for and trying to show his teammates in Detroit something.
Yep, it was March 26th. Now, they'd already played a game in Colorado that was pretty good.
Draper. Now McCarty and Odgers drop the gloves, and here we go.
Well,
And another Red Wing
Draper's got to be tossed for that. He was right in.
He came in right away. Should be third man in.
As goals in double figures.
Yeah,
Now we have some trouble brewing on the far side. Odgers involved against Bob Rouse. And another Red Wing player is held up by Reichel. All 10 skaters involved here.
you had to figure at some time something was going to. There's too much energy between these two teams.
Out of the goal, and here comes Osgood. Last year it was Vernon and Waugh. Now he wants to go with Osgood. Here we go again. Do you believe this? With some right hands on Osgood.
Well, it's going everywhere now. We talked about it, John. You get your hand. That Bowman's trying to reach in right there. Telling you.
Well, you got to watch the coaches here.
I mean, Bowman's giving it to Waugh. Get out of there. It's between the players.
Yeah, Patrick landed some good right hands in that one.
It's going on around the ice. And away they went.
And here is the main bout.
The boys go to town. They both got some in. Now, Osgood doesn't have his shirt tied down. Believe me, goaltenders don't have to have their shirts tied down.
Patrick landed 4 or 5 in this
Patrick got
sequence.
some serious shots in.
You know, the fans were really cheering Osgood after the fight, but I mean, it was a fairly even fight, but Patrick landed as many punches as anybody.